Studying abroad is an amazing experience. You can travel, meet new people, and discover new cultures. My second year of university, I went to Canada for a year to study abroad. At first, I was nervous to travel by myself. I have lived in Spain all my life. Up until then, 3 weeks was my longest trip. I arrived in Vancouver in January. It was very cold. Spain is cold in the winter, but Canada is colder. However, Vancouver is not the coldest city in Canada. Apparently, the temperatures in other cities are lower. Canada is a large country. It's larger than Spain. It is the second largest country in the world. While I was in Canada, I had the opportunity to visit many beautiful places. However, the most beautiful place I visited was Banff in Alberta. In this town, you can see the Rocky Mountains, go skiing, and visit some of the bluest lakes you will ever see. I also had the opportunity to meet other students who were studying abroad like myself. All in all, it was an amazing experience that changed my life.
In my final years of medical school, I went to Australia to study abroad. I lived in Sydney for 2 years, and it was incredible. Each year, it got better and better. I had studied abroad before, but never outside of Europe. I grew up in Amsterdam, in the Netherlands, which is a small country beside Germany. The Netherlands is much smaller than Australia. So, I was excited to visit a new and different country. When I arrived in Sydney, I was surprised by the weather. It was extremely warm. Sydney is much warmer than Amsterdam. The city was incredibly beautiful with lots of English architecture. The buildings and churches in Sydney are old, but the ones in Amsterdam are older. In fact, many of the oldest churches in the world can be found in Europe. My first year in Sydney was good, but my second year was better. By that time, I had many friends and knew the city well. It was the happiest year of my life. I recommend studying abroad to anyone who loves to travel and experience new things.
My first year of university, I went to Hong Kong to study abroad for a semester. This was one of the hardest things I have ever done. Hong Kong is in China, the fourth largest country in the world. I grew up in San Francisco, and I have always liked the city. I thought studying in China would be the greatest adventure of my life. When I arrived, I was overwhelmed. The city was much more crowded than San Francisco and much more polluted. It was hard to adjust to many changes. The hardest change was living far away from my family. When I was in high school, I went to France for 2 weeks. France is far, but China is farther. China is the farthest country I have ever visited. I was very homesick. Every day I felt worse and worse. When I returned to the U.S., I was happy to be home. Most of all, I was happiest to see my friends and family. I think studying abroad is interesting, but I prefer studying in my home country.